First of all, I wanted to say thank you everybody who's supporting me, who's subscribed to my channel. If you haven't, don't forget to click that button, subscribe to Octacage MMA. I had a great blast this year. We got only 10 days left as far as 2023, but I'm really excited for 2024. I'm gonna make some new things, some new videos, some new content. Yeah, I couldn't be more excited for the future of this channel and MMA and UFC in general and everything that's coming up. We're gonna have some great fights. It's gonna be gnarly. Having said so, so I was so into UFC 296, I almost missed the UFC seasonal 2024 press conference, and it featured the three champions that are defending their belts in the upcoming three events. And on the left side, pretty much on the conference, they laid up. Dana was in the middle. Dana was actually there, and he wasn't for the press conference for 296, but he was there for the seasonal press conference. And on the left, you had Sean O'Malley, you had Sean Strickland, and Alex Volkanovski. And on the right side, you had the challengers, which is Dricus Du Plessis. Then you had Ilia Topuria and Chito Vera. Of course, as you would probably assume, the loudest mouth, the loudest guy on that press conference was indeed Sean Strickland. So Sean Strickland started throwing jabs. He even threw a jab at Sean O'Malley. He's like, oh, you know, all that talk about Ian Gary and who's a cuck. He pretty much said, hey, I watched the interview with Sean O'Malley, and he said he doesn't have a problem with dudes screwing his wife. So Sean O'Malley immediately responded and said, hey, at least my dad didn't fuck me. So for a moment, and then Sean Strickland was like, what did you say? What did he say? Asking Alex Volkanovski, and then O'Malley repeated it. I, for a moment, thought that, oh my God, he's in trouble. He's 3 weight classes below. I mean, as good as O'Malley is, he's a much smaller dude compared to Sean Strickland. I thought they were going to get into it, and it wouldn't end up really well for... There was no security, by the way. I didn't see much security around there. But yeah, O'Malley would have been in trouble there. I was worried for a moment, but no, Strickland didn't really respond to that much. However, I think after that comment, of course, yeah, Strickland attacked his opponent, his next opponent, which is Dricus Du Plessis, and pretty much insinuated that he's a homosexual, because there were some pictures, clips. No, I'm not really sure. Not that I really care about it. There were some clips of his coach in the corner, kissing, pretty much, you know, kissing on the lips. Dricus Du Plessis, I think it was after a match, and then I also grabbed him by the penis between rounds. I don't know why or how did that happen, but yeah, Sean Strickland didn't fail to notice that, and he brought it up. However, it seems like everybody wants to catch beef with Dricus. I mean, it started with Adesanya. Adesanya was the one that attacked Dricus first, before Dricus said anything. Dricus is just responding to these guys. So Dricus wanted to respond in a good way and really get into Sean Strickland's head. And he succeeded. Actually, if you noticed all the previous face-offs and stare-downs that Strickland had, even with the last one with Adesanya, there was a lot of, you know, jabs thrown on both sides, but nobody really got into Sean Strickland's head. This was a little bit different. Yeah, you can see it by his reaction that Sean really got pissed at Dricus. Just because Dricus said, like, hey, you thought that your dad gave you a pretty good beating, mentioning his child abuse. As, you know, Sean even talked about it on Joe Rogan. So it's very public. So in that sense, I'll talk about it more. But he mentioned that you thought that your dad gave you a pretty good beating. He has nothing on me. He's nothing on the beating that I would give you. And that comment completely switched Sean Strickland's demeanor, everything towards him. He started staring at him and he started cussing at him, and he's like, I'm gonna take your soul. And that you could see the change. I don't think it's acting. If it is acting, really good job on acting, but I think that's real. Like, we have an actual grudge match at this point, which is great. I mean, I was already looking forward to this fight. Technically, I think it's a great fight. We already seen what Sean Strickland is capable of. We've seen Dricus's the last performance with Robert Whittaker. He's amazing. So it's a really, really good fight. We already know that Dricus is much heavier on grappling. He's a really good jiu-jitsu artist. But at the same time, Sean Strickland is no joke. And he's also we've seen in this camp more than ever footage of him practicing wrestling. So he's going to be really, really prepared for something like this. And we already know he's very good at his takedown defense. It's not easy to take Sean Strickland down. Many, many people have attempted it with no success. But now, on top of that, we have a grudge match, which is great. So after that press conference, they attended UFC 296, and I think it was on purpose. Dana said, "Oh, I made a mistake. I placed Strickland just 2 rows in front of Dricus." I don't think none of that is a coincidence. Especially, he always says, "I'm so good at this. I know what to do. I know how to place people." I'm pretty sure they did it on purpose. Anyways, so they got in a fight. Right after the camera was, on both of them, I don't know if Dricus said something. Sean came closer. He told Gilbert Burns' family to move to the side. It was his son there and the wife. They moved and he attacked him, and I don't know who got the better of who, but yeah, he started punching Dricus from the top of a chair. Dricus tried to take him down, and he kind of did, and then at that point they separated it. I think Dricus also landed some shots on him. So yeah, but whatever. It's a good build-up. Now, why I think it's not over the line, over the top, mentioning his father and the child abuse, because he made it public. It's different from the Leon Edwards and Colby situation, where I criticized Colby, where I think it was too low, because he dug up that information. Leon didn't talk about it. It was something that is obviously very hurtful for Leon Edwards. In this case, Sean was pretty much bragging how he came from nothing, how he was abused, and he came out stronger, and that's his story, and he's nothing to hide. He was talking about it publicly in front of millions of people. And he said his father is a POS, a piece of shit. So him bringing it up, it's not really like nothing new, nothing that everybody knew about it. I mean, Sean O'Malley just brought it up. He probably reminded him. Sean O'Malley brought it up, maybe an even bigger insult to Strickland, which to Strickland didn't, respond. But this was what triggered Strickland. So anyways, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, whatever. I see a lot of guys are making it a big deal, like, oh, UFC's letting all this happen, they should fine. Not to mention Michael Venom Page, by the way, Dana White announced some fights for 2024, and one of them is Michael Venom Page, who's going to be fighting Kevin Holland, which is a great fight. I think it's a great debut for Michael Venom Page, but Michael Venom Page already started saying, like, oh yeah, they should fine some of the fighters, bringing up the families and all of that. I mean, this should not come from him. I mean, you're just entering the company. You should be grateful for that opportunity. Now, you're gonna, set the politics, set the policies, and give advice to the UFC and Dana White how they should deal with matters. If he knew better, I mean, he would know how Dana would respond to that. I don't think Dana White would like any of what he said. But anyways, yeah. So I don't think it's a big deal. I'm more excited about the fight. Like I said, I was already excited, but let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for that matchup? Dana White also came out with an Instagram live today, and he mentioned amongst other things that he will be announcing some of the fights for UFC 300 very soon, probably before New Year's. It might be like a Christmas announcement or a New Year's announcement. But I actually tweeted on X, formerly known as Twitter, my early prediction for some of the fights. I do think there's going to be indeed 3 championship fights, and I'm pretty confident in my pick that one of the fights, if not the main fight, will be Islam Makhachev versus Justin Gaethje, and the second fight, which I'm also pretty confident, will be Alex Pereira defending the belt versus Jamal Hill. Now, my third guess, this is a little bit of a wild guess. For the championship fight, I think they're going to throw in some females. And I think we're going to see, again, Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso 3. I might be wrong on that, but that's just my wild guess as the third belt. I looked at some other options. I mean, you could have a flyweight. You could even have the middleweights fighting again, depending on how this ends up in January. Maybe they'll make that adjustment because there's time till April. This is going to be happening in April. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you excited? And what do you think about the new beef now between Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis? How excited for this fight you are? And like I said, don't forget to subscribe to Octacage MMA. I'll see you very soon in the next one.